Good afternoon, everybody. How's it going? It is 3:35 p.m. Mountain Time on Friday, June 25th. And with this sideways action in Bitcoin right now, kind of more downward than sideways, but basically sideways, I think it's a very good time, very good opportunity to go over with you yield farming. I've been doing this for a few weeks and I've been learning a lot about it, and I've had some pretty good success with it, with the exception of Titan Iron, although I did have a little bit of success with it. Anyways, so let's get into that. First, I wanted to update on where we're at with Bitcoin. Always good to know, really in the same spot that we've been in for weeks. 30,000 and about 42,000, right? That's kind of our range right there that we're watching. I've made some very small accumulations at 33,000, 37,000, and 35,000. Very, very small. About not even 15%, probably around 15% of the amount that I used to hold of Bitcoin. And yeah, it's very small just because I could still see us coming down to the $20,000 area. We had a really nice bounce after breaking through the 30,000 mark, but we did not close below there, and we responded with good volume through the rest of the candle. Then we had some descending volume, which is leading us into a red day today. The 50-day is coming down still. If we stay above 30,000, that'll probably be the next test. Is will the 50-day push us down, force downward pressure on there, or will we kind of move side? We'll get a little bit of downward pressure, but the question is, will it push us down below the 30,000 mark, 30,000 area, and close below there, or will we get pushed down and break sideways or upwards, which is what we want to see if we're bullish. I don't really care either way right now. Just kind of sitting back and watching it play out. I haven't been really active on Twitter or anything just because the whole market moves together. So Bitcoin goes up, everything else goes up. That's when it gets really exciting, when you want to really pay attention. I mean, making your picks. Right now I'm kind of planning on the different market cap altcoins, the larger cap, middle cap, and lower cap, kind of watching some just to see which ones do I want to get into should we turn out of this bearish market. But yeah, like I said, I could see us coming down to 20,000. I do like that every time we come down to this 30,000 area, we get bought up really heavily. Again, just to reiterate, that might be shorts covering, that might be big money buying, could be a combination of both. But it's just nice to see that the selling stops and the buying begins. Anyways, so still in that same range. Bitcoin shorts on Bitfinex have really tallied up here. So heavy short position. Last time this happened, the price rose, and then it dropped from 41,000 down to 28,000. So we'll see if that kind of plays out again. It's just something to pay attention to. Pretty confident in the downside on low volume. I don't blame them. And with the futures, we are looking to close today below the 200-day moving average on the futures chart. Again, I just watched the gaps on the futures chart since it reflects the price of Bitcoin, not identical, but pretty darn close. And then we're looking at Bitcoin dominance. This just kind of shows the strength with the total market cap of altcoins. This just kind of shows the strength in the altcoin market, or the weakness in the altcoin market, or the strength of Bitcoin compared to altcoins. Right now, the strength of Bitcoin is rising as Bitcoin is kind of dropping down, so altcoins are dropping a little faster. Lastly, going into the altcoins, good news is we're above the 200-day moving average here. Bad news is, we're still in a downtrend, and we are still kind of showing this head and shoulders pattern, just like we are. Sorry, I should have mentioned this. Just like we are on Bitcoin, pretty clear head and shoulders. It's almost too perfect, right? I'd like to see a failed head and shoulders, but you can't play with what you hope for. You gotta just manage risk. So that's what I'm doing right now with that. Is I have some buys. Goes up, great. I'll watch breakout levels and I'll add there. It drops, great. I'll watch support levels and see how things hold and how volume reacts, and I'll buy there. Just because over the long term, I do think Bitcoin goes up. That's just my personal opinion. Anyways, let's get out of that. Let's get out of these. Let's unclutter my little browser there. Anyways, so let's talk about yield farming, right? This is something that's getting a little more and more popular. I think it's kind of the future of decentralized finance. Decentralized finance I see as the future. I mean, there's multiple reasons for that. I mean, I just think like return rates could be much higher than banks could give you on savings accounts or CDs. There's insurance, there's leverage, and just like the overall functionality of it, and just being trustless. And by trustless, I mean you don't need to trust anybody. There's no one in charge of it. There's no one controlling it. That's why it's decentralized finance, not centralized finance, where there's an organization controlling it. So anyways, I'm really big on this. I think there's pros and cons, which I'll get into. And it was really big back in July of last year. Really, really big. People made a lot of money. I think that how it's going now, there's definitely, it was really good in a bull market, and it could be good but not really good in a bear market, and it could be actually really bad in a bear market, and scams are going to pop up everywhere. And that's what I feel about Titan Iron, and I was involved in that. I came out all right, but I'll get into that in a second. So what is yield farming? Essentially, you are lending your tokens to provide liquidity to exchanges in exchange for a reward, and the reward is in the form of a token. So a lot of these different apps or decentralized apps have their own tokens. The first one, I believe, was Synthetics and Ethereum, and so you would provide liquidity, and I'm going to show you how to do that with Synthetics and Ethereum, and you would receive Synthetics. So I'm going to talk about kind of what I'm doing and how to set things up. So let's get into that. So the first thing you got to do is you got to have a wallet, metamask. I've talked about this many times, so you'll have to set up metamask. I recommend getting a VPN. There is a free 30 days in the link in the description of the bio. Also, free 30 days to check out stockmarketmentor.com. Come learn with us. Come trade crypto with us, and come learn together. I've definitely made money off of things that other members like myself have shared. So anyways, done shilling that, but great community. Anyways, let's get into this. First thing you got to do is you got to set up for the network. So these apps, right? I'm going to go over a few of them. There's Iron Finance, and you can see right there. I'll get into the story of what happened. Please don't buy Titan or Iron. Okay, that's this is a newer one that I just discovered. Whalefarm.finance, and these are pretty ridiculous. Yeah, Whalefarm, Polycrystal, which is obviously on the Polygon network. You got Cosmic Swap. I'll get into that, price and what it's doing and why, and what all of them will inevitably do. Ape Swap, Jet Swap. One that's been around for a while is Auto Farm, and we should add Pancake Swap because that one was one of the bigger ones. I'm not gonna switch my wallet over yet. Let's add that, and it's one of the more popular ones. Anyways, so what happens on these? Well, you have different farms and you have different pools. The farms are pairs. The pools are staking individual. So if we go into farms, you could see, let's go to the highest APR. So the biggest difference you got to know is APR is non-compounding interest, APY is compounded interest. So you get a new one. This one's pretty new. Usually they start off pretty high, 561% APR. That will go down. That will go down over time. But after a year, it might be, I don't know, what's the lowest one, or they just finish, it finishes. But they do go down over time, and I'll show you an example of that. And then you go to the pools, and you have singular. Stake Pancake and earn Binance Smart Chain Pad. They must have a launch pad that they're starting. That's new to me. So first thing you got to do is, as you saw, you got to connect your wallet, and they run on different networks. Some run on Ethereum, some run on Polygon, some run on Binance Smart Chain. On Auto Farm, they have this Hecko, which I've never heard of. So if you've heard of that, then great. You know more than me about it. You see Binance Smart Chain and Polygon, probably the two most popular. So I have some thoughts about this that I'm going to share in a second, but first let's get set up. So you go to your MetaMask. There's also, as you can see, a Binance Chain wallet. I don't use that. Binance Smart Chain isn't available in the U.S. You have to use a VPN to kind of get around that, should you choose to. So you go to your networks up top here, right? And you have Ethereum, and you can see I have two different Matic networks. They're both connected to the same wallet. They're just going to be different RPC URLs, which you shouldn't need. The only reason I did that is because I wasn't able to connect when the price was tanking on this to the mainnet URL. So don't get too confused by that. Anyways, so you got Ethereum, you got Matic or Polygon, whatever you want to name them, and you got Binance Smart Chain. So if you go to your Ethereum or you go to your MetaMask wallet right now, you'll see I don't have that. Why don't I have that? Well, you got to set it up. So you have to go to your settings, and you have to go to networks, and you have to go to add network. So you could just Google setting up Polygon or setting up Matic on MetaMask, setting up Binance Smart Chain on MetaMask, and it'll give you all this information. So network name, Polygon. Whoops. So you can see you'll just copy and paste these into here. Let me go back to that. Again, just a reminder, never share your private key with anyone. The private key is how you get into your account and recover it should you lose it. So anybody who gets your private key could take everything out of your account. Okay, so if we add a new network, you'll insert Polygon. You'll choose one of these. The mainnet, start with that. It'll work. But yeah, so you punch that into here. RPC URL. So Polygon network, RPC URL, copy and paste right there. Chain ID is 137, and the currency symbol is Matic, and Block Explorer is right here. And then you'll save it, and then you'll have Matic network in here. So same with Binance Smart Chain. Just Google it, connecting MetaMask to Binance Smart Chain, and it gives you all the same stuff. So we go here, just one more time, go to settings. Could you add from there? You can go to custom RPC from here as well. So here or into settings. So yeah, Smart Chain, UPC URL right there, chain ID 56, symbol BNB, and Block Explorer right there. Hit save, and you'll have it right in there. So now you have it in your MetaMask. So now you have your MetaMask and you have your Ethereum network, right? And you say, okay, how do I get this Ethereum into my Matic network? Because you'll see I don't have any Ethereum, which would be wrapped Ethereum. That's how it'll show up on your MetaMask in your Matic network. So how do you get it there? So there's something called bridges. So you have a Binance Smart Chain bridge. Okay, Binance Smart Chain bridge. Okay, let's go back. Binance Smart Chain bridge, which is right here, binance.org/bridge. So, and then you have your Polygon wallet, which has your Ethereum Polygon bridge. So if you go to wallet.matic.network, you go from move funds from Ethereum to Polygon. So let's just see here. So I should be on, okay, so only $52 in there right now. And then if you want to switch it the other way, you go Polygon to Ethereum. So you want to make sure you're on the POS bridge when you're doing that, or either way, because you go to the Plasma bridge and it takes 7 days to convert. So not quite up to speed yet. But the POS bridge will be 3 hours. It's generally taken like 45 minutes for me, tops. Sometimes it's taken like 20 minutes. But go from there to there. You essentially just hit how much you want to transfer, hit the transfer button. It'll tell you that the deposit of funds takes 7 to 8 minutes, and then it'll actually transfer from there. So continue. I don't want to go through with this just because I have I have everything, anything I have staked. That's not very much, or I have paired. So I just hang on to this for fees, and then I refill my Ethereum for fees, just because I'm not super confident in Ethereum, so I don't want to hold a lot of it. Anyways, you'll hit continue. Essentially, it'll go through each step, and you'll just confirm it. There'll be a gas fee, Ethereum on Ethereum network, and Polygon. You'll pay in Matic much less from when you're on the Matic network. So you'll go through. It'll say continue. There'll be a process bar at the top, and then every time it does it, you'll have to continue, and then it'll ask you to switch your wallet to Matic, and then you'll be on Matic, and then you'll hit the last continue button, and then all of a sudden you will have, say you transferred 5 Matic, you'll have your 5 Matic in here. So, and then you could use, say you transfer 1,000 Matic. Now you can connect to, now you can connect to this network, which you could see, these are all auto compounding, hence auto farm. So you could see 178%. I'll go over all these later. I don't want to get off track. We'll go over all these later. But you can see that the APR is 92.57%, and compounding, auto compounding 27,000 times a day. The APR is 145%. So total APY, I thought it said higher than that. Did I click on something different? Total APY is 178%. Okay, yeah, 178%. I thought it said 300 something. Did I click on something different? So here's a new one. 926 million%, right? I promise you that will not stay that high. And if that is the case, the coin, whatever this PGov is, will almost indefinitely drop in price. So talk about strategies in a second, but you can see 1,700% compounding 461,000 times daily puts it at 926 million%. Awesome. Don't get too caught up in that. I promise you, don't get too caught up in that. It's a new pool, so there's not a lot of liquidity. I wonder if it says here. Usually you can see like liquidity. So in this one, Cosmic USDC pair, you can see there's $20,000 in that pool that are providing liquidity. It was much higher. This one, total value locked, it was over 2 million, which is still kind of small, believe it or not. Anyways, moving on to the Binance Smart Chain bridge. We set up our wallet, our metamask. So now we got the bridge, and we want to make sure we are on Ethereum because we're moving Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain, right? So if we go to the Ethereum network, now we can move Ethereum to Binance Smart. I don't even think I have the minimum in here, but yeah, looks like, yeah, 0.02, so 0.052 is the minimum, so I wouldn't even be able to do this anyway. So just make sure that the destination is right. I don't recommend, I don't know, it's been kind of scary a couple times with Binance Smart Chain. There's been a couple times where I felt like my Ethereum was lost. I was like, where is it? And then all of a sudden it arrived, and I'm just like, holy crap, I see a different wallet or something like that. It was way confusing to me. The Matic one is very simple, very easy. This one, you could see your history, and it's just, I don't know. What I recommend doing is using an exchange that has a BEP20 network, which is the Binance Smart Chain network. Ethereum is ERC20. Polygon, I can't remember exactly what it is. But anyways, BEP20 is Binance Smart Chain network, and ERC20 is the Ethereum network. Those are going to correspond with your wallet. So when you set up Binance Smart Chain in your wallet, right, this is always going to be your BEP20. So don't send any other network, which sometimes, usually it won't, but like KuCoin is what I use. I'll use KuCoin. I'll send funds there. I'll buy BNB with it, and then I'll send it to my Binance Smart Chain MetaMask wallet to have it on the Binance Smart Chain network. That is much easier for me. It just works better in my brain. If you prefer using this, then great. Anyways, So now you have your Binance Smart Chain network set up. You have your Polygon network set up. It just depends on what pool you're looking at, and what they offer and what you want to get into. So let's look at a few different decentralized apps. So first, let's get into Iron. So they have their postmortem article. You can read it if you want. I'm going to tell you exactly what happened and what my thoughts are on how it happened. So you have your farms, and you have your Titan coin, which essentially went from a little over $1 to over $63 within a month. And then it sold off to essentially zero. So here's the price of it. It's not exactly zero, but it's essentially zero. The circulating supply, or the total supply, it says question mark, but I can't imagine all of it isn't being used. It went from like 10 million to 35 trillion. So you might say, Matt, why does that happen? Why would that happen? So here's the thing, is they had their own stable coin, which was Iron, right? Let's go to the home page. Their own stable coin, which is Iron, right? Which is supposed to remain at $1. And then they had their own network, their own, hey, dog's digging up the carpet. They have their own coin, Titan. So what happens is, should read the documentation, is Iron token, very first sentence, is a partially collateralized token, soft pegged to the US dollar, available on Polygon Network and Binance Smart Chain. Protocol aims to maintain Iron's token price stability. In other words, the peg by storing sufficient collateral, which is in the form of coins and their Titan coin. This collateral is used for redemptions, helping to maintain price stability. It essentially means they're going to sell that coin or whatever coins in order to buy Iron to keep the price pegged at $1. So what happened was there was 2 billion total value locked in here, right? 2 billion, maybe it was 20 billion. I'm pretty sure it was 2 billion. So that should give people confidence that like, oh, there's a lot of money. There's like not a high chance, high probability that like, oh, that's going to sell off. The higher value locked, depending on how many people it's between, the more confidence it should give. So people had confidence in this, right? And they owned different pairs. They owned Titan ETH, Titan. They were in the vaults. They were not too sure about the treasury and the minting of tokens. Haven't gotten quite that far yet, but farming and staking is where the opportunity lies, I think, the most. Anyways, so people started selling Iron. People started selling Titan. So the price started to drop. Now these pools, their APR was at like 1,700% for Titan Matic pair. 1,700%. You can see there's some money in there. Like $1 of it is mine, because I still have like $1 left in the liquidity pool, which is like 3 million Titan that I have. But anyways, they start selling it. They start selling their Iron, redeeming it for USDC or whatever, because they're like, oh, I got my money, I'm getting out of it, great. So what happened was Mark Cuban had a blog post, got people really excited about it, and then like that day or the next day, people started selling it off. So it seems like a scam, right? It seems like a scam, like, oh, get people excited about it, buy it, that way we can sell it. We're millionaires or billionaires or whatever. We make our money, the price crashes, who cares? We're out. It was described differently. Mark Cuban said he lost. I don't buy it. I don't believe it. Maybe he did. Maybe he got taken advantage of by people with more money or by people who are smarter in this field. Anyways, Titan, they had to release all their supply to sell it so they can maintain the peg on Iron, their stablecoin, and they were not successful in doing that. So that's why the total supply went from like 10 million or 1 million or 10 million to 35 trillion, because they had to sell the crap out of it in order to keep their stablecoin pegged, which they were not able to do. Hence why Titan kept going down and down and down and down and down. So yeah, everything became pretty worthless. So anyways, getting into it, let's get into, these are ridiculous. Ape Swap, Cosmic Swap, Polycrystal, Whale Farm, like pretty ridiculous. Eventually, I see these getting more and more serious and more legitimate. Until then, They're mostly, I wouldn't necessarily call them scams, but I'd say like the coins that they have are just doomed to be consistently going down. Cosmic Swap, I was fortunate to take half out of my Titan. I didn't have a lot in there. It was in experimental stages. But I took half of it out and put it into here to experiment with it. It was around $22. Let's look at that. So yeah, it was like at $22, and it was actually over here. So it went up a little bit, and then it started coming down, and Titan happened, and I'm like, I'm getting out of here. I don't want this to happen on both of them. So I got out, and naturally it sold off. So why do these sell off? Why does this sell off? This one's not at zero because they don't have a stable coin that they have to sell their quick swap or their cosmic to maintain. But still, here's essentially what happens is you have these APRs, right, which this one was at like 4,500. 4,500. So you stake Cosmic and Matic, and you get Cosmic. Then what? Then you go to the pools. Where is that? How do I get there? Maybe they don't have separate pools, but, well, there you go. Cosmic, it's just not on another page. So then you take your Cosmic, right, because you get paid in Cosmic, and you put it in here, and then you earn an additional APR that you can compound for a much higher APY, right? So you have all these Cosmic coins now that have been like given to people as rewards, and probably the creators of this project too are getting those, and they're probably selling them little by little. I would not be surprised if that's what they were doing. So now it's just diluting the supply, diluting the whole market cap of Cosmic. So people need to buy it, and it seems like on this one people have just been getting their rewards and selling it. Well, you might say, well, why even buy Cosmic then? Because the price is just going to go down. It's going to cancel out the APR that you're receiving, and the APR just keeps going down. Well, yeah, but the benefit is, well, let's say you hold Matic anyways. You could stake this for 16%, which was like 500% before, or you can limit your risk even more and stake and pair up Matic and USDC. Stablecoin, so half of your position shouldn't go down, and then you earn 49% in the form of Cosmic, and then you just sell it, and it's just extra, right? You're not risking owning Cosmic, you're just selling your rewards. So that happens. This one's actually been holding up all right. It's gone from, I was in it from 450, and I just had Matic and, which was it? I think Link. I think they had a Link. And Matic and Link. And yeah, Link ETH. There was a Link Matic. There it is. So I had this. So two of them that I was like holding, that weren't dependent on the price of Polycrystal, and I made about $450 in rewards. I have since taken this out and removed my liquidity, and the price was about the same on Link and Matic from when I started. So I made about $450 in a few days. I don't think the price is going to sustain. I think it's going to do something similar to Cosmic, just because these are starting to go down. This was at like 7,000, and they also have pools that you could stake, and like their website is really slow. So you have this. You can see the APY is auto compounding, and that's kind of like if you're willing to do the manual compounding yourself, you'll do better, because this is not compounding at all. You'll receive 13 crystal a day per $1,000 that you have staked, and you'll receive just a hair over 13 on this by compounding 288 times daily auto. So you will get more by manually compounding, even though these look different, APR versus APY. Anyways, expect that price to go down. If it's something you want to watch, then go for it. Now, another ridiculous name, Ape Swap. They have banana token. Yeah, so ridiculous. I hope it gets serious one day, because it could really, really be beneficial. And you'll probably see like APRs of like 7 to 10%. I think that would be really, really healthy. But you could see a lot of money locked up in this, $291 million. And, you know, they have their own farms. So same kind of idea. Been around a little longer, so a little lower. Jet Swap was when I was in. Price was maintaining about $6, and it's at 277 now. I thought it was really cool because they were at 800%. So the strategy is, you know, find the highest percent. In my opinion, don't buy the actual coin that is associated with the app, because those ones are the highest risk and the most volatile. Take a little bit less percentage and just take the rewards and sell them and make the money. The stable coins are the best ones, because they're not going to move. The risk you have then is how much do you trust the site. So I'm going to get into that in a second. Let's get out of here. They all work pretty much the same. So don't worry, I'm going to show you how to actually get into one of these. Anyways, let's get out of there. So this one, right? Let me tell you what I think is going to happen with this one. So you have a lockup for your rewards. So you can't harvest your rewards until 6 days from now. So you have these different pools. I just don't want to. Let's see. Okay, no wallets unlocked. So the one that I'm in, that's not a lot, is the Tether and BUSD, two stable coins. Pretty confident that they're not going to pull an iron, because they've been around a long time and they're backed by some pretty significant money. Anyways, this was at like 1.2 million. It's already down to 876. It's just because it's brand new and there's not a lot in there, but pretty significant if you can get in there. And the price has gone up. You can see $167 per coin on this. Okay, so you can see these ridiculous percentages, but don't get too caught up on that, because probably a little bit of a scam, but you could still make a little bit of money on them, because you're risking virtually nothing, because you're using two stable coins and you're getting paid in the rewards of that coin, which you get one coin that's worth $167. However, it's probably pretty high percentages because you can't sell it for 60 days. I fully expect this to be at $1 or less by the time you're able to sell it. But if you haven't bought their actual coin, then you're not risking that. It's just extra. I also expect the possibility that the site may be kind of locked up and congested and that you may not be able to. So my plan is, because I don't trust the site completely, is to remove that at least a few hours before this timer counts down. Then I have everything off of there, and then I just got to try and be fast and harvest the rewards and then sell it. So it'll be fun. I'll let you know how I do on that. Anyways, that's how it works. So that's my thoughts on those. So let's talk about how to provide liquidity. So these decentralized exchanges will have option for liquidity. So what you want to do is they're usually paired to one of them. So let's say you want to do Cake BNB. I'd have to unlock. Oh, no. Let's do this. Here it is. So you want Cake BNB. So there's always an option on all of these. You'll see, even if I go to Pancake Swap and I go to here, there'll be an option to get that pair. And I'll bring you to the liquidity pool page. And there you go. So all you do is pick the two, which is already set up, and you'll have to do a 1-to-1 ratio dollar-wise. So if you put in 1, that's 283 BUSD, and then you'll have to approve the contract, and then you hit add liquidity. Okay, so how do you remove liquidity? You have to connect your wallet, and then it will show your liquidity pair. You'll hit manage, and you'll hit remove liquidity. I don't have any liquidity pairs set up right now that aren't staked. I only have the one anyways that I'm doing right now, so I can't really give a good example of that, but there will be an option down here where it'll show your liquidity pairs, and you'll just remove liquidity. Fortunately, I was able to figure that out while Titan Iron a couple weeks ago was, dropping in price, so I was able to get out still. So then when you have the liquidity pair, there'll be an option after you unlock your wallet that says stake, and you'll hit stake. It'll ask you for how much. You'll have a 25, 50%, 75, 100% option. Hit 100% or manually type in how much of that liquidity pair you want to put in. You'll have a specific amount of it that won't really match how much cake or BNB you have if that's the liquidity pair you're providing. Anyways, I suggest that strategy, not going with the actual coin of the app, because that's the riskiest one, because all these people involved in these pools are getting this as a reward, right? And most of them are probably going to choose to sell it if there's not a restaking option, which I don't think there is for this one. Then probably just going to sell it. That's what's going to happen with this one, I'm pretty sure. So if it's at $1, then great, because there's really not that big. I think it's like 150,000 supply, so they're going to have to add more to that. Anyways, let's see. So we went through setting up your wallet, getting on the right network, the different types of, to find which ones, you just got to search, follow people on Twitter. Every time I see a project, I follow them on Twitter because they'll usually partner with somebody, and I'll go to there and I'll see what they're kind of working with. But and then we've gone through and showed how to create a liquidity pair, and then stake it, and then if you need to remove a liquidity pair, unstake it and then remove the liquidity pair, and then you could sell from there. So say it's BNB and cake, you got to remove the liquidity pair, and then you can sell those again. Anyways, that's that. Some of the first ones were synthetics. Aave is one of the biggest ones, got 16 billion. Cool thing about decentralized finance is, you can borrow, and then you can borrow, and then you can put them in. So you can borrow, so you have more. It's obviously higher risk. Have more of a specific coin that you want to stake or provide liquidity with or pair up, and then you could stake more of them. I believe that Aave, I've never borrowed, I don't care to. Not really sure how Aave works. I think it's really cool, but they actually pay you. At one time, I don't know if they still are, they pay you to borrow. So, and I think that's the cool thing with decentralized finance, why I think it's like kind of the future is that, you have borrowing, lending, you have interest returns that are going to be significantly higher than banks. You have a trustless environment where, you don't have to prove anything. Everything's on blockchain, and blockchain is just a database that you put things on and you can't take things off. So once it's on there, it's on there. So there's no trust needed, and that's what trustless means. There's insurance. It's great. There's also risks. There's over leverage risks. The app trust, tax on liquidity pools, like what happened with Iron, Titan, and then like incentive changes. So these, go down. And watch, I'm telling you, like what this is at right now. If I follow up in a week, I bet it's probably 100th of what they're at right now, and it'll probably drop fairly fast. Like I said, this is already down 30% in the rewards that they're offering. So anyways, that's that. Staking is another form of decentralized finance. It's kind of like I talked about with YFDAI. It's like they were given 72% staking rewards. In a bull market, it's great because it went up, 1,000%, the price of YFDAI. So people were more willing to hold their rewards, restake them, and compound their interest. Whereas in a bear market like we're in now, people are trying to preserve capital and cash out whatever gains that they get. So if they're getting $100 here, $500 there, whatever, however much people are risking, they're going to be more willing to sell those in fear of the price going down and it canceling out their interest that they gained. So again, hopefully some less ridiculous names come out that are more trustworthy, so it actually grows. But we're in the early stages, and that's just kind of how it's working, and people are taking advantage of that. But there is opportunity in that as well, as long as you're not greedy and you're willing to manage your risk. I think that's the most important thing with me in getting in with these stable coins. I'm not willing to risk prices going down. It's just like take your rewards and cash them out. So that's that. I don't think I forgot anything, but yeah, that's that. And hopefully that was helpful. If it was, go ahead and hit the like, hit the subscribe button. Hopefully you guys have some success with this, and hopefully this at least got a start. That was the intention, at least get a start to understanding it. The first time I got set up trying to do pancake swap, it took me about 2 hours to kind of figure it out. And yeah, so don't get frustrated if it takes you that long. Step away, or maybe ask questions, or get online and try and figure it out. But other than that, just please, I would appreciate it. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and if there is anything I missed, leave it in the comments. If you have questions about anything I talked about, put it in the comments. Other than that, I will see you at another time. Bye.